Greetings friends, welcome to another video on views of the underworld in ancient literature. This is video 2.6 on the Egyptian section, and this will be the last video on the Egyptian section. And as promised, I plan on reading a pyramid text. This is pyramid text 474, and it's entitled A Debate Between a Man Tired of His Life and Soul. And I'm going to read part of this, and this is going to sound a little bit like the text Ecclesiastes. So if you can look at that text, I'll be reading part of that, and you can compare it to this. But this is very moving, and the same questions that were being asked back then about death on a personal level are still asked today. And I was going through an old Methodist hymnal, part of it written by Charles Wesley, about 500 songs back in 1876. Very old, but the same thing. We're still dealing with it, and it's a beautiful thing indeed, and some of this literature is very moving. So here's the text: Debate between a man tired of his life and soul. Death is in my sight today, as when a sick man becomes well, like going out of doors after detention. Death is in my sight today, like the smell of myrrh, like sitting under an awning on a windy day. Death is in my sight today, like the perfume of the lotus, like sitting on the shore of the land of drunkenness. Death is in my sight today, like a trodden way, as when a man returns home from an expedition. Death is in my sight today, like the clearing of the sky, like a man who, for something which he does not know. Death is in my sight today, as when a man desires to see home when he has spent many years in captivity. Verily he who is yonder will be a living God, averting the ill of him who does it. Verily he who is yonder will be one who stands in the bark of the sun, causing choice things to be given therefrom for the temple. Verily he who is yonder will be a sage, who will not be prevented from appealing to Ra when he speaks. So let's go to the text on Ecclesiastes. This is Ecclesiastes 12, and start with verse 3. When the guards of the house become shaky, and the men of valor are bent, and the maids that grind grown few are idle, and the ladies that peer through the windows grow dim, and the doors to the street are shut, with the noise of the handmill growing fainter, and the song of the bird growing feebler, and all the strains of music dying down. When one is afraid of heights, and there is terror on the road, for the almond tree may blossom, the grasshopper be burdened, and the caper bush may bud again, but man sets out for his eternal abode, with mourners all around in the street. Before the silver cord snaps, and the golden bowl crashes, the jar is shattered at the spring, and the jug is smashed at the cistern, and the dust returns to the ground as it was, and the lifebreath returns to God who bestowed it. So that's pretty beautiful indeed, and I'll be posting links to some of these texts. So hopefully you enjoyed this section. The next section we'll be looking at the views of the underworld in Canaanite literature. So we'll be getting into the Baal's journey to the underworld and his fight with death, or Mot. So take care, friends, and remember, if everyone's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking